Welcome to Best There Is Games Podcast. Today is a easy breezy cover girl day because the government's going to hell, I guess, and
now there's just stuff breaking out at the Capitol.
Yeah, and we should have done stuff earlier, but instead me and Lucas were watching that. We had to argue about our beliefs in the government and stuff.
Yeah,
but that's not what we talk about here, unless you're talking about Watchmen. That's why I feel like that's a little too political.
It's still fun. I do enjoy watching that movie, though.
Everybody, okay, so what we're talking about is basically what is like one of the best superhero movies, and it's hard because there's a lot out there.
Superhero movies or comic book movies?
Well, I guess you could say okay. We'll say comic book movie because when you say comic book movie, you could put Sin City and stuff like that.
Ooh, yeah,
I forgot Tran Lucas here, and then So I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, when I saw it get pulled up, and people rank it, Winter Soldier always is like everyone's number one. Again, it's kind of a cliche to go to, but it is a really good movie. And I also forget, and I don't want to go all Marvel, but Civil War for me, I think it's mainly Black Panther is so good in it. Like him chasing after him, that chase scene.
Oh, that chase scene was
and phenomenal. The fight at the airport. Not so much the Cap Iron Man shit, but mainly like the Spider-Man shit and the Falcon stuff. And like that was all really good, but I think for you to say the best comic book movie has to be basically like the comic, and that's why people go to Watchmen, because Watchmen is literally almost panel to fucking...
Or Dark Knight.
Well, yeah, but Watchmen goes literally, like, there's one book for Watchmen. So there's only one story to tell, and it goes from the comic to the movie, and it's dead on. Except for the very end, they change the endings, which... I don't care. People hate me for this, but I think Alan Moore is a huge overrated writer. Alan Moore thinks he's God or whatever, but I don't like Watchmen really. I don't
like the comic book or the movie.
Both. I don't really care for them. They're too all about propaganda and shit like that. He wrote V for Vendetta, and that's why I don't like V for Vendetta that much.
Even the movie?
Yeah, it's all right. It doesn't have moments where I'm like, oh, that was badass. I never got, like, vibes.
No, it was an interesting story.
But,
good voice actor for that one.
You're a good voice actor?
No, I said him, the guy who they got.
Hugo Weaving?
I liked that, his voice when he
played Red Skull, and he complained about it so much, he never was going to come back. So when they cast for the... Stone scene, he didn't come back for this.
Oh, that wasn't him?
No.
Oh, I didn't even really pay attention to that.
Hugo Weaving was like, I'm not sitting through this again. I'm done. He was done after that movie. He didn't even want to promote that movie. But it's hard because it's like The Mask is a comic book movie. Mystery Men's a comic book movie. Dude, Donnie loves Mystery Men. He bought it. He brought it to us, and like we all sat there. Started watching it, and then all of a sudden we're all on our phone, and I felt hella bad. But Mystery Men was not that good for me.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't know. He wanted, I think someone mentioned clicks to flicks with them to figure out how to make clicks out of the characters, and the characters really bored me, so I didn't even want to think about that. One like farts, one throws forks, one has the bowling ball.
Mystery Men.
Yeah, and the one is like, he gets angry. But The Mask is a really good movie, but it's nothing like the comic. The comic's all mobsters. He's not called The Mask. He's called Big Head. And it's very bloody, and it's like...
Is he like the boss?
No, actually, the first comic, he's a bitch. He's a driver, and they found the mask or whatever, and they put it on his face to be a dick to him. So he turns around and says like blah 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 blah, whatever the fuck he says, and he like drives hella fast and just slams and knocks everyone out, and they're all covered in blood, and so is he. But then he gets up, like cracks his neck back up, and
that's good stuff.
He just makes moves to become like a mobster too. But The Mask goes from like
I gotta watch that or read that.
It's like it's a lot of books. I've been trying to find like a fat trade of it, but there's like then there's a Joker Mask spinoff too. I wanted to read.
I feel like that would be a conflicting two personalities.
And there was nothing in this mask that was like your inner desires or whatever, like the comic was, whatever you're hiding. Like this was just, no, you're just a cartoon with you're Loki with power.
Yeah.
And you just were like a bad guy, and that was it. So he was just making his way up as a mobster. I want to see that kind of Mask movie, but I don't think people could ever see the Mask again because they're too used to seeing Jim Carrey as the Mask. But I don't know, and it's like I like The Crow a lot, and I think The Crow does pretty good job. But with Brandon Lee dying, there's just so much that takes people out of the film because back then the CGI wasn't good, so you could totally tell when they like put his face like on the other guy's body or whatever. So like that would make it like a lot better in my opinion if it was made like now. And it sucks because Brandon Lee like killed it. That was like going to be his breakout role because he did like Rapid Fire, I think, before that or something like that. Was it Rapid Fire? And this movie was going to be just it for him. And if you watch him in it and actually think about, okay, this guy, this is like his second or whatever third film, and the way he acts in it is just really done well. It's really crazy, the whole like gun thing. It fascinated me as a kid. Just like, first of all, I don't get how you put a live bullet in a gun.
What are you talking about? I'm a little lost in this.
You know, right, Tran?
It was a gun, then a slug got stuck. An actual live round slug got stuck in that gun. So nobody was paying attention when they even put blanks in it. When you put blanks in it and then you shoot off the blanks, it still creates enough pressure for that slug to come out that end and accidentally shoot somebody.
So when they did the scene, the guy pointed at Brandon Lee and shot him and killed him during the movie.
Yeah, they didn't realize that was a slug.
No, I didn't know that.
There was a slug stuck in it.
I have, but it's been an extremely long time. I was a child.
What'd you say?
No.
But so
that's crazy.
So that's why it's like the Bruce Lee curse, because Bruce Lee died on the set of, was it Enter the Dragon? It wasn't Enter the Dragon. He died on the set of one of his movies, and Brandon Lee did
You're
too.
right. I think it is Enter the Dragon.
So they figured it was this like whole thing of like, oh, it's a curse, but that was just a weird. I don't know how that.
Keep on wanting to say Game of Death.
I wanted to say that too, but
yeah, it is Enter the Dragon.
I just don't get how you can mess that up. And that guy who did it, I hella slurred. His character's name is like Sick Boy or some shit in the movie, and I've watched interviews with him where he was just like he quit acting and all kinds of crap.
In the Crow, Fun Boy.
That's his Sick Boy. That's a part of Raven's flock in WCW. different thing. Fun Boy. Look at John with that knowledge. Yeah, Fun Boy's fucking gross. He looked like Edge to me from wrestling.
Yeah.
And they show the girl's POV, and he's like gonna rape her. It's just traumatic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they shot that scene. It's actually in the beginning of the movie, I think it was, because I thought it was the Crow. He hops in while they're doing like morphine or something like that, heroin. I can't remember. He hops in and Fun Boy shoots at him, and that's when he gets like the hole in his hand, and he like screams. He's like, "Woo! Like look at that!" And he tells him like the Jesus joke about Jesus walks into the bar and gives him 2 nails and says, "Can you hang me up for the night?" or whatever. I always thought as a kid that was the scene, and then getting older, I read it was the not the opening, but the flashbacks of when they came and raided their apartment and rape her, and when he walks in, it's supposed to be a shot where you see more of him, I guess, but you don't see him. It's all through his POV too, so I think they reshot all that because he walks in with grocery bags, and I think that's when he shoots at him, and that's when it happened, because I swore I heard that it went through like the bags and shit like that and it hit him. But in that scene is when like it just shows like they beat him up or whatever, and then you barely could see the guy on the ground, and they throw him out the window. And when they throw him out the window, you could tell they like put his face on like some like weird CGI like body falling. And there's only a few scenes, like I think they like did the running on the rooftop scenes without him, and then they did when he finally puts on the makeup and he's like standing in the window that broke. It's all like flashing light, but you could tell Brandon Lee's face is just like, I don't know, like I don't want to say it's CGI, but the CGI back then was, this is like
CGI
94, 95, dude. So it was like,
yeah, but look at the CGI in Jurassic Park. I think that was roughly around the same time. A different budget.
Way different budget.
Way different budget.
But yeah. But anyways, long story about The Crow. But yeah, that was for me just a really good movie. I really
Can we add animated comic book movies?
I mean, you can add animated.
Because one of my favorite ones would have to be Batman, that animated movie from a long.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into that. I remember.
I don't know. Maybe it was just nostalgia, but I remember like the cover was the other mask.
Yeah,
and it was cool.
I like the animated series a lot. I didn't watch it when Robin was like a regular, which is weird. Maybe I got too old or something. But that movie came out in between it, and I never watched it. And it was weird because that's not Return of the Joker, right?
No.
I can't. So Phantasm is just the chick, right?
Yeah.
She's just the girl.
Yeah.
Then there is Return of the Joker after one, right?
That one I tried to watch and I couldn't, but that's Batman Beyond.
Well, one of my favorites is more classic than anything else. It'll be the first two Superman movies with Christopher Reeve.
There you go.
They aren't as exciting and as explosive as these newer movies are.
Damn. Let me say it again for the camera. God damn.
But I liked how they portrayed
John's pulling
fucking
Clark.
80s movies.
Yeah, because it's classics. Every time I think of Superman movies, I think of Christopher Reeve.
Okay, but here's my thing. This is a lot of people's arguments too. They think Henry Cavill is the best Superman.
What, the 21 and
why?
The 21 and younger crowds?
Why?
No, because
how big he is.
And that's the thing you got to really look at is Christopher Reeves isn't really like big, but I think Superman's a different kind of character because Superman doesn't have to look big.
No.
Because he's got powers that make him strong. Now, Wonder Woman, I want her to look a little buffer because she's an Amazon, just like Thor from Asgard.
The Amazon warrior. Superman's supposed to be a normal person on another planet who has powers.
But he's still physically okay, not like a fat dude.
Yeah.
There's no fat Kryptonians like me, like rolling around.
Well, maybe there are.
That'd be dope. I'll make a book. Write it down. Note to self.
Could you imagine a big fat dude fighting Superman?
Funny idea or funny concept. Before Ryan Reynolds, people that are gonna watch this maybe or not, they're probably gonna be like, I already knew that. But before Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern, there was a script for Jack Black to be Green Lantern.
That would have made that movie better.
He'd been like, Did you imagine? Give me the Green Lantern power!
I wouldn't even be mad if it was CG. The suit was CG, because Jack Black would be hysterical in that. It would make the movie as funny as it actually truly is.
I think whoever I talked to about it, which was long ago, was probably my dad. I remember saying that if they did do it, it would have been like The Mask, like where it's just a funny guy getting like a power, and then he's like, "Whoa, my ring can do this, and whoa, can do that." But I don't know. But the Superman.
Would you do cock push-ups with it?
How many did you do? One. But with Superman, like, I won't lie to you. I think the first one kind of bored me a little bit.
The Superman Returns, the second one.
Well, because you get Zod.
You get Zod.
Yeah. But see, at least what I told people, then it gets kind of rough. Because 3 and 4?
Oh, yeah. We don't talk about 3 and 4.
And Richard Pryor's in it,
was
too.
It Lex Luger?
Lex Luthor. Not Luger.
No, Lex Luger was in 3, where Lex Luthor created one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not saying he was in it. Yeah.
He looked like him.
He looked like Lex Luger.
Looked like, what was he called? I was going to say Hyperion, but it's not. It's like,
Sentry?
No, we're naming a bunch of superheroes, but Nuclear Man, I think.
Oh.
I don't know. But they made a new Superman. But everyone is about Lex getting real estate. That's what people hated. And even the Kevin Spacey one, who I think Kevin Spacey was a great Lex Luthor.
Right.
It's too bad he touches little boys. Yeah. But it made me want to gag.
It would have been nice if they introduced a dark side in one of those in 3 or 4. That would have been really cool.
I always have liked Doomsday. I liked the concept of Doomsday, not the idea of Doomsday. Because if you watch that...
Doomsday was 5 years later after that last Superman movie.
That short that talks about how Doomsday was made, I never knew his origin. I never read that. Where they just kept cloning him or recloning him or something. And they keep beating the shit out of him and he's a baby. And they clone him and finally they just send him to Earth to fight or whatever. And he's like wrestling on TV. So then he's just like, that's what I'm going to do. And then he fights Superman. But
Is that really how he was created?
It's something like that.
Clone child?
Yeah, some weird, like, horrific. They just keep beating him up, and eventually he breaks out of the ground.
Superman?
No, I don't know what it was. I don't know, dude. That was a weird time. That was a weird time where, like, you woke up the next day and everyone's like, Superman's dead, go buy the comic, and
then he's back.
I'm like 7 years old, like, I don't get it. And then the next day or next week, it's like, we got 4 Superman now. The Eradicator. We're racist, John Steele, because he's a black guy. I like the old folklore and all that stuff.
And then real Superman came back, but it wasn't real Superman. It was Cyborg Superman. Then real Superman came back.
With long, luscious hair and a black suit. And guess what? I didn't really die. I just slowed my heart down. So you thought I died, and I had to go in an incubator, and I felt better, then I came back.
Wouldn't he have felt better if he would have just got up and just sat in the sun?
I don't know. Or go to the sun?
Like, because isn't that how he regenerates?
Superman's one of the most flawed characters. That's why I thought it was weird that you brought it up. But I think as a kid, he's pretty fun. But they always made him, like, vulnerable, at least in those movies.
Yeah.
He wasn't, like, super, like, oh, Superman.
No, now he's a god.
Like, well, I mean, he kind of
now with Henry Cavill, everybody really wants to take Superman
you watched Justice League?
Yes.
And when he fought, like, the whole team, like, why do they need a Justice League?
Yeah.
That ruined for me, when I watched that, they overdid it with him. I know he's a bad guy. He needs to get a little bit of the upper hand. But we needed to have the team beaten down maybe a little, so when they did fight, at least they're like, hey, my knee hurt from earlier, that's why I lost, or whatever.
I didn't watch that movie, but I watched that fight scene, and one thing that threw me away was when he was fighting Flash. And he was like, I'm just as fast as him. I was like, what the?
Well, the thing it was creepy and kind of weird.
Just as fast as Flash.
In that fighting style, he can fight people at like that super light speed and be okay.
Yeah, he just has to I'm gonna do.
Well, I know modern Superman can. Okay, comics, but I'm talking like Superman's too powerful now in comics.
Yeah, and they end up giving him more powers.
Yeah, like they can't die. Like he's pretty much just an endless being.
Is he shooting fireballs from his hands?
Not yet, but I bet he will. He shoots them out of his eyes.
Wait till next week.
Oh, no, those are lasers. No
matter. When he's looking, I hate that part because it looks so weird where he's like looking, his eyes are slowly. Yeah. And I hate Ezra Miller's face at that point where he's like...
Yeah,
or he's looking at him and he's hella scared. I'm like, I don't like that. That's a big thing too. Declan's like, dude, when those hit HBO, we have to all watch them and we got to talk about those for sure. And I'm like...
Watch what?
100%, because they're redoing the Justice League movie, the Snyder cut that always existed, that he's filming over 7 months. That always existed. Oh. And the reason why it bombed was because Joss Whedon filmed like 3 scenes. And everyone's like, it's all Joss Whedon's fault because Snyder's like kid died or something. So Joss Whedon came and helped, and people try to complain that say he made the movie bad, but I'm pretty sure Snyder did all that shit. Snyder maybe had an idea for a bigger movie, but now we're getting Dark Side, whatever you want to call him. He wasn't in the last one. This one's going to have him in it. There's a bunch of reshoots. Wonder Woman isn't doing it, but Batman is. And, like, I don't know. They're bringing Michael Keaton Batman back. They're bringing... Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're bringing, like, the old Flash back. They're bringing...
Who was the old Flash?
I think the one from the TV show, I thought. But I don't know. But they're bringing people back where it's going to be basically a lot of time jumping while Flash is running around or something.
Oh, Flash, multiverse bullshit.
I mean, I like Flashpoint a lot, but
yes, I was just about to bring that up. Yeah,
that's a decent.
That was a very good one. Can't argue that one.
Yeah.
Well, you get Thomas Wayne in it. That's badass Batman.
Yeah.
Punisher Batman, basically.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I think Superman is up there for one of the ones that if you had to recommend someone like this is a superhero movie, but I'd probably say 2. And I at least like that they open. Like, here's my thing: they always kill villains in all the movies. I hate that because you could never be like, oh, you could bring them back, and if they do, it's gonna be something stupid like
killed their clone, or they have a clone generated, or
like Fast and the Furious stupid. Like Letty died, we brought her back. Hans is coming back in the next one and shit like that.
Asian people don't die.
Yes. But at least I don't know how Superman did it, but somehow he took off his symbol and just threw it out to him.
Yeah.
He wrapped them up, and then they went into space. But they didn't die technically. We didn't see them die.
Because didn't they come back?
No, they don't come back.
They didn't come back.
They went to
the negative zone. Oh, that's 2004. Phantom Zone.
Phantom Zone. Yeah.
Phantom Zone.
Phantom Zone.
Oh no, I'm thinking about Smallville.
No, we don't
TV
talk
series.
about.
I like
Smallville was really good in the beginning, and then it got a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
but
you know, I
didn't finish it though because they did Doomsday.
It's just a lot of always is about to cry and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they do. It's a TV drama.
Yeah.
But what I did like is, I mean, granted, I didn't really watch DC, but I've seen clips of it when Lex is in the DC show is going through time. They do go through the Smallville universe. Like, yeah, dude, I gave up my powers. You know, I'm a normal farmer, dude. You know, it was interesting that they literally went to every single Superman they talked with. Well, I mean, besides, fuck, I forget his name. Wheelchaired.
Professor X?
No, the first Superman.
Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeve, yes. And then, what's the other Superman from the TV show? He was like an MTV host dude.
He's not an MTV host.
Brandon Routh.
Dean Cain.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah,
Dean Cain.
Yeah.
Dean Cain.
Yeah,
did you like Brandon Routh? I thought
How no?
I thought Brandon Routh was a good Superman. He was a good
Brandon Routh?
Superman Returns.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was.
Let's not talk about that.
I thought
movie.
he was.
That movie was very awful.
I thought he was a good Christopher Reeve's inspiration. He acted hella like him. Like, oh, sorry, Lois, that kind of thing. And then Lex Luthor was great because it was Kevin Spacey. Mm-hmm. But then there was no action. Like the only action was the plane falling down, and he saves the plane.
Well, like some of the lighting is off. It feels very.
Well,
they also
like, made it
super bright.
They also made it where he had a kid with Lois, and like he was deadbeat Superman, where he never was around or whatever. And it was like, and again, you know who did it? Bryan Singer. That's the guy that did all the X-Men movies. So he was getting high praise for X-Men, so they brought him to do Superman, and it's just like, I think Bryan Singer got way too much credit because now that I'm older and watching the original X-Men's, like, I didn't really care.
Dude, now that I think about it, when I do go back and rewatch them, I go, this is.
It's weird how much superhero movies can get dated if they're bad. Like Blade is weird because it's very low budget,
but I still.
But it holds up so well. It holds up very well.
The first one. The second one's not bad. Don't watch the action scene.
But the first one's a good story though too.
First one's good.
Yeah.
Second one is okay. That's Del Toro. Del Toro made it more.
Ryan Reynolds. No, that's the third.
No, that's the one. Del Toro made it more horror elements.
Oh yeah.
The third one. That's when there's the things that are the ones
weird,
that are hunting vampires.
Hybrid. I remember that.
So they have to team up with Blade, which is
that
dope.
Story. Yeah.
Because what's his name?
Dude who played
Asian
Hellboy.
guy. Donnie Yen.
Yeah, Donnie Yen and Ron Perlman are on the team.
He went out like a bitch, though.
Yeah. He's the guy that uses a sword, and he's pointing at the guy, and then they do just eat something.
Oh, yeah.
He went out like a
It sucked. They had a cool team I was ready for. I'm like, this is dope. They all have different personalities, and they all, like, die during the first, like, raid.
Yep.
You know what would be cool? A Blade and Underworld crossover.
I don't watch Underworld.
Dude, Underworld is so good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I like Kate Beckinsale, but I like Kate Beckinsale actually a lot. I think she's like, I mean, she's older than us, I think.
50?
Close, maybe? I don't know. Like, I was seeing pictures of Salma Hayek the other day in a bikini at 50, and I was just like, how?
How are you going to look at 50 in a bikini?
Not this good. And this is bad. But Salma Hayek, she's going to be in Eternals. That's what's crazy. Kate Beckinsale, we haven't got her as a character yet. But what would you do with Blade? Blade would be hunting them down.
That's fine.
You need Blade in Twilight.
No, I think.
More
hell no. Don't even say that.
Why? Blade killing all the little kids and stuff?
But I don't like Twilight. I don't
Who would he be killing?
Edward and his whole little crew.
You said Twilight?
Yeah.
He said Twilight. I didn't say
Yeah.
Well, when did you say Twilight?
I just threw it in there.
No, what?
See?
Yeah.
I'm with Lucas.
Imagine Blade just walk in the woods and be like,
There's no fight. There's nothing to enjoy.
Yeah.
They have a really big all-out fight with the wolves, don't they?
Ernie,
I've only seen that. I've only
it's
seen
a
that
big ass wolf against a dude who's a skinwalker.
No. There's a vampire
walker.
versus vampire fight.
Yeah, but dude, it's Blade, man.
I won't lie to you. I have not seen the Twilights. I've seen like a fight or two.
It don't matter. It's Blade.
I don't remember. I seen them. I don't remember anything of.
Why did you
Twilight,
see
which-
them?
Huh?
Why did you see them?
I've
Get
seen.
some.
I've seen the fights because you know what? If there's a fight in a movie, I will watch a fight in the movie, even if it's a shit movie. I will still watch that fight because I would like to know how the fights go. Because some movies can have amazing fights but be shit. Underworld would be cool. Fuck Twilight.
But he'd be hunting the underworld people.
He would be hunting Lycans most likely, or he would team up. Well, he would team up with I don't remember their names, but Beckinsale and then the dude because he's a hybrid of both. His bloodline comes along from the top of the food chain with the three bloodline. Yeah, it's crazy. So he's a hybrid. And he's a badass.
To get out of your dumb movie.
You never seen him?
No. I've watched a lot of movies. It just looked bad.
Watch it.
First Ninja Turtles is I would put up there. That's a comic book first.
Yeah.
But dude, if you really watch it, bro, it's like you could see like so many fuck ups if you really like their faces and mess ups. Dude, that movie, I think it was on maybe some documentary I watched, but it cost them like really not much, but it became like one of the biggest fucking movies ever. It made a shit ton of money, ton of movies. But yeah, the first one I liked a lot, but it was just so dark and so not for kids, but I saw it in theaters. I was in kindergarten.
What'd you think of Hellboy?
I never seen the first one because it wasn't. It was.
I liked it.
It was.
I liked Hellboy.
Yeah,
It wasn't on sale. Number two was. So I got that on Black Friday, and I got a digital copy. This was back when I carried my computer with me to work. So I watched that one, and I really, really fucking liked it.
The second one?
Yeah. So, and I heard a lot of people tell me the second one's better, but I don't know. I've never watched the first one. But I have not seen the new one either, though. The new one
I haven't watched it either.
with the guy from Stranger Things. It looked kind of cool in the trailer a little bit, but it just felt like the guy was trying to be Ron Perlman. And then also, it felt like everyone's biting off the whole Deadpool. But weird fast cuts on the trailer with like a really like good song to play with it, and they did something like that. And Harley Quinn did the same thing, like when they cut her sequel up or what was it a sequel? I guess her own movie. I don't know. It's supposed to be Birds of Prey, but it's Harley Quinn fucking movie.
That's what I heard. I never watched it.
I
I don't really watch DC movies.
I watched it. It was
Well, I like Black Mask a lot, and
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it. It looked really bad.
Yeah.
I bought it during Black Friday for $6.
It was more kind of chick flickish than anything else.
I heard it's very like
Yeah.
girl power.
Yeah.
Rosie Perez?
No.
No, not good.
But she played Montoya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the Obi-Wan as a Black Mask though?
It's okay. You can't really mess up the mafia
Like character,
Yeah.
I just didn't like that
Really
Zaz
cool.
was like his right hand man. It's like Zaz is usually just some weird rapist that Batman always beats up
Yeah.
and like, or some killer, not just the guy that works for a henchman.
Oh, since you're talking about a movie, earlier you said a movie that's a comic book movie is like a comic, right? Like itself. Enter the Spider-Verse is very comic book movie.
That's hella cheating though.
How's that hella cheating?
I don't know because it's
too
like,
easy.
It's a cartoon and it's like
Yeah.
and not to mention it's almost like a perfect movie.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly.
I don't
Like-
know. I don't actually know if there's any flaws in that movie.
Oh, I got a good one.
Oh,
Ghost Rider.
did you not like that?
You didn't like Cage?
I never watched the second one because how much I
There
know.
was a second one?
There was.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is more Nicolas Cage in the second one.
It's weird.
It is very odd.
I think Declan's the one that tells me about the scene that he just goes, "How do you pee?" And it cuts to just a scene of black, and it just shows him pissing with fire.
Well, that was the second one?
Yeah, that was
okay. So I did watch the second one then. Never mind.
The second one was pretty bad.
He's with the kid, and I kept thinking that was going to be
Catch.
Yeah,
Danny Catch.
Danny Catch, the second Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
but Nick Cage just for me wasn't. He's not Johnny Blaze.
Well, we don't really know that much about who really Johnny Blaze is. We just know that he's a biker, right?
But it's just in the first one. It's like Eva Mendes in it. Oh my god, she's so hot in it. And then we had like Morpheus, wherever the fuck Mephisto, who was Mesphosides or whatever the fuck he called himself, and then Black Heart, or no, I think it was Blackout.
Yeah, Blackout.
But no, Blackheart was in it because that was he. Blackout was in the second one, I thought.
Okay. You're right. You're right.
Or not. Dude, I don't know that. I don't know. I just Nicolas Cage is it's just like, oh, my head just feels like it's on fire. I just couldn't like.
So I didn't know. I watched a video on him. He was talking about his movies and how he gets into character.
I just get into character and I just.
I
throw my cock out and slap it around.
He takes cues from old movies. Like he's a huge movie dude. And he's like, naming off like a 20s movie or 10 silent movies. Like, I wanted to incorporate this. He's an actual artist when it comes to acting. That's why he is the way
he's got a weird.
He's a
niche.
Stage performer,
like
kind of.
My cousin follows him like he's Jesus and watches all his B movies and because he makes a lot. You'd be shocked how many actors still keep getting work, but they go straight to DVD or Netflix.
No, I mean a lot of them.
But I don't know, like him as Superman. It was
what?
Yeah, so there's a documentary out there. I think you have to find it on YouTube or something. But it's called maybe it's just Superman Lives, the documentary. Kevin Smith wrote a script called Superman Lives, and he was going to, I think, direct it. And Nicolas Cage was playing Superman. He had long hair. It looked horrible. There's pictures of the suit before this, of it lighting up.
I'll have to look at this later.
And then once this documentary came out, they gave you actually clips of them trying on the suits and stuff like that. But there's no footage or anything ever shot. There was the guy was obsessed. Tim Burton was involved again. Kicked out Kevin Smith. And this director that directed it, he was obsessed with a giant spider that he wanted to be in it to fight Superman. And then when he went to the...
I feel like I've seen memes of this.
Like when he went to the Fortress of Solitude, he wanted him to fight polar bears. He's like, he just needs to fight something. And he's like, Kevin Smith's like, I don't really want him to fight polar bears. That kind of sounds dumb. He's like, no, he needs to fight something. So he had to fight polar bears when he went there. And then,
why?
They wanted him to have a fight scene there. And it's all about basically when he dies and comes back, I think. But it deals with Brainiac killing him. Brainiac and Lex Luthor team up. And he comes back, but he's black suit, long hair. But he has long hair, I think, the whole movie. But I don't know. Because Nicolas Cage had long hair at this time when they were trying on the clothing and all that. But, yeah, so they kicked off. Tim Burton took over, kicked out Kevin Smith, brought his writers on, and then another director came on, and I think he's the one that wanted a spider.
That's dumb.
It never got made, but then that guy made Wild Wild West.
Ooh.
And the big ending of the movie is a big mechanical spider.
Yeah, spider. I do like that movie.
Do you?
I do very much enjoy it. It's dumb. It's one of those dumb, goofy movies, but it's a guilty pleasure. I've seen
parts, but I've only remember Salma Hayek's butt
It's
crack.
Absurd. That whole
Salma Hayek came up
absurd.
twice so far, but her butt crack is out because her flap's down, and I was just like, man, I like that crack.
Yeah, so did Will Smith.
Will Smith probably did too, yeah. But and it's funny, they did a Superman cartoon. I think it's the Doomsday one, maybe. And Toyman is in it, and he's controlling a big, huge spider as a joke. And Kevin Smith's in it as a voice of a guy going, "Hey, it's a giant spider." I thought it was fucking great because it was kind of a play on the whole obsession of that. But it's hard, dude, because it's like we've dug really deep into like older movies. We haven't even talked about newer movies.
Iron Man, the first Iron Man, groundbreaking. When it comes to modern MCU,
I mean, Jon Favreau's
I agree.
Yes, what he's doing with everything he is doing is incredible.
I mean, what I used to always go to was Guardians a lot, but I actually like Guardians 2 a lot, but I still don't think I like one better.
Still haven't watched Guardians 2.
That's nuts, dude.
Is it on Disney? I'm assuming it's on Disney Plus, right? Because all their movies are up on there.
But Ragnarok is, I think, one of my favorite Marvel movies. And people say it's because it's too goofy, but I don't know. I enjoyed it.
They also brought in...
It felt like a Thor and a Hulk comic, I felt like. They brought in a funny Hulk. And he didn't even mean to be funny. No. It just was funny.
Yeah.
Him walking around with his ass hanging out and stuff.
Giant schlong.
I mean, we didn't see it. You're guessing at this point.
It's
big old green thing just hanging. And Valkyrie's a lesbian, so she wants nothing to do with it.
Would you see Thor's face?
Yeah.
That thing's the size of me. Fuck that.
Dude, you think he would be getting... Well, that's the one thing is we're never going to get a Planet Hulk within this storyline. Because that was our closest to...
Yeah, that's the reason why I love that whole...
And it sucks because they had like Beta Ray Bill's like facing the statue, Ares, I think, and I'm like, man, dude, I want those guys so bad.
Silver Savage.
Silver Savage would have been great.
Yeah.
But back then, we didn't have Fantastic Four. Now we're gonna get Fantastic Four. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but hopefully it's good. I mean, I have faith in Marvel, but I don't know.
Fox has fucked it. Was it Fox or Sony?
Yeah, it was Fox. It was Fox. But yeah, they owned it, and they made 3 films. So the 2 with Jessica Alba, and then the 1.
I like Jessica Alba.
Well, yeah, it's
just not a fantastic.
Yeah, it's Jessica Alba. She looked great in that movie. She had a really good tan with her blonde hair. It looked good. And Chris Evans was a great fucking Human Torch.
Oh, yeah.
It was weird for me to be like, this guy's going to be Cap. It's going to be kind of odd because I'm used to being such a funny goofball, especially like in another team movie and stuff.
Well, I was about to say, he's been in more goofy roles opposed to once he was in Captain
America. And then Cap, it's like now I'm like, God damn, that's Captain America's ass. Like, but when I see it, like today, the government was having issues, and what he said was like, he posted something like, this is heartbreaking what I'm seeing.
Chris Evans?
Yeah, Chris Evans posted. Someone posted underneath it, like, suit up, dude, we need you. Like, we need you right now. And with a lot of those guys, you kind of see that in them. Like, especially Chris Evans, you're like, you're him. Like,
well, plus, like
we need your help.
We've been told that he's like one of the most wholesome people actually kind of out there, isn't he?
Yeah. I hear that about...
It's not him. It's, what's his name? Guardians.
Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt.
He's probably because he's religious. I think he's like weird religious.
Is he married to Schwarzenegger's daughter?
Now, yeah. He was with Ann Faris, and now he's with Schwarzenegger's daughter. Yeah. Dude, you imagine if like X-Men came out back in the day? I think Arnold would have been an amazing Colossus. We used to have like a commando figure. It was really good detailed, like looked just like Arnold. I remember thinking, dude, you look just like Colossus, because he had like slicked hair, but it went like flat top. And I was like, man, that'd been so cool. I don't know who had all played who back then. But
what if he became a Cable?
He could be a Cable, because what's his name? Josh Brolin was a great Cable, but I just think he was just short. That was my only issue. Like when they're all running together, he's a lot shorter. See, that's hard for me too, man. Because I can't say perfect comic movie, and I think Deadpool 2 is like one of my favorite movies.
But I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Deadpool 2?
What's wrong with you?
I forget it exists. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, it's so good.
It's good.
You have it?
I have it. I have both versions.
What's it on?
Blu-ray.
Oh, you don't have a standard version? I don't got a Blu-ray player, dude.
It usually says, oh Jesus.
Get a PS5. I was kidding.
Just buy a Blu-ray drive.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, you fixing all the things in your computer, add a goddamn drive.
Yeah, it shouldn't cost you like that much.
It's not even that much.
30?
Yeah.
$30.
That's it? Just to put in a Blu-ray drive?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that cheap to put a Blu-ray.
No, usually it is. You can typically also buy portable ones, which, yeah, either way, not too bad.
Or just waste some money and just get a PS5. I'm just kidding, don't do that. Don't do that.
You want PS5?
Stimulus.
We're supposed to get more when Biden comes.
Well, I mean, more.
More.
We need more. Another 600?
Another 2,000.
You think he's going to give it to us?
That's what they said.
I don't think so. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, let's not go down that road. But what? I did. I got 12 because I got children benefit.
That's supposed to be for your child.
It is going to the child.
that is gonna get taken back.
They're not 18 yet. They don't own anything. It's all mine. That's what my mom used to say.
It's horrible. But yeah, I don't know what else I could put as a contender as like the best.
Different eras.
Well, yeah,
You got modern era.
dude, if you go like fucking 1989 Batman, so fucking good. And that one ages like a fine fucking wine.
Yes.
Like, I can watch that now and enjoy it. There's, like I said, X-Men 1, I cannot watch it.
No.
Wolverine, when
goofy.
he's running around, like, shirtless and he has no muscle before they made him, like, work out and shit.
Yeah.
It's just really dumb and, like, the whole, like...
Storyline in general of
The
everything.
storyline is kind of goofy and the fights are really bad.
I do like how though they made that Sabretooth look more like Sabretooth than the Logan.
Lee Schreiber.
era.
Yeah. Schreiber.
Yeah, X-Men Origins was, I don't know. I watched, I always watch the Deadpool scene where he cuts all the comes in with the bullets, which is kind of weird. But,
That was not that good of a movie.
no.
It was awful all around. It hurts me to actually ever know that movie.
But it was the best we could have gotten.
But I did rewatch the Blob scene. And it's just cool to me. Like, man, we got Blob in the movie. That was awesome. But then I think to myself, he should have been in a better movie. Like,
Isn't this the second time we got Blob? Wasn't he technically in the first one, or when he faded away to water? Or was that another character?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Because you remember when the president or vice president or whatever's on the table and then he's convulsing?
How's that Blob?
Because he said something. I'm pretty sure he said blob, so I'm going to say that he was blob, man.
No, it's just the president gets infected or whatever, and he turns all gooky, and he comes out of the water. He's okay, but at the end, I think he does go like blah, blah, and he turns into like little Jello. But Blob is Blob in the other one. He's big. He's fucking huge. They don't do so much of the immovable aspect. That was my favorite thing ever. Ever reading comics as a kid was the fact that Juggernaut was unstoppable, Blob was unmovable. And the idea, always talking to my dad going, so what happens? And he's like, well, I think when Juggernaut would run, he would hit and ricochet off Blob. So Blob would never not be moved, but Juggernaut would never stop his momentum. And then I did love Hulk in the comic one time grabbed his belly and stretched it out and then let it go, and then that knocked him back, and I thought that was cool.
He can move himself.
Yes. But the thing is, I seen Colossus pick up something he's on, and he's picked up...
Yeah, because he's picking up that object.
Yeah, not Bob. So I was like, that's dumb.
You got to go around it somehow.
And then you have... People will swear by the Wolverine... Not the Wolverine.
The when he's in...
no, not that one. That one's really... I don't...
The one where
he got the badass flat top. That one should have been so much better.
Yeah.
Japan one?
Yeah.
I did not like Silver Samurai.
Yeah, that was weird.
Or is this some old ass Asian guy?
That just ruined...
He looked like a big ass Rock'em Sock'em robot. Like,
I was thoroughly upset with that.
And then all he had to do was like plug into him, and he's like, "Oh, you're taking my adamantium." I'm like, that's such a... Like, if that's all it took was that machine, like, to do that, so I don't know. No, but I meant, is this called Logan, right?
Oh, the newest one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch that forever because everyone hyped it up so much.
Yeah,
for
dude.
Me.
I remember
Everyone hyped it up, and I was like, number one, it's Fox. Number two, I know Old Man Logan. This is not Old Man Logan.
Yeah, it wasn't Old Man Logan.
And I love Old Man Logan comic, but people would hate me for this too. I'm not the biggest Hugh Jackman fan as Wolverine. I'm very critical with Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, I know, is doing his damnedest to be Wolverine, though. I'll give him that.
5'4".
Not even that. Just he doesn't give off the vibe. He does kind of have a little bit of the voice now. But I finally watched it with Donnie and them, and it was cool, but they made it like it was a masterpiece. And I just didn't get the vibe of a masterpiece. It was a good movie,
but it wasn't a masterpiece.
But I couldn't be like, that's the best superhero movie I've ever seen.
No, but it's the best Wolverine.
If it was Old Man Logan and Old Man Hawkeye, it would have been a lot better.
Oh fuck yeah! I mean, that's such a big movie to make.
Yeah.
Red Skull was the main villain at the end, and then he has to go back and fight the Fat Hulk and all that.
The whole family.
The whole family. He lives in Sacramento. They're all a bunch of hillbillies.
Inbreds, yeah.
That would have been sweet.
It would have been a cool ending. It would have ended like how Mando starts, where he picks up this little baby Hulk and leaves. Yeah, so I don't. It's really hard.
Logan
like,
is up there as far as modern, just because I'm a huge Wolverine fan, and that actually was a good rendition of that.
I just can't limit movies for me. Like everyone's always like, "What's your favorite movie?" I can never pick a favorite.
I'm a Sentinel fan because I like Sentinels. What they do in here clicks, so I will. Age of Future Past. That was actually quite fun of a movie.
I can see it being fun, but I didn't really go through all of it. I just was kind of, I don't know. It was weird. It didn't feel like Days of Future Past to me. Maybe I'm too much of a like, oh, it's not like the comic, but a lot of people didn't like those movies.
No. Oh, no.
I never watched the Apocalypse one. I started it and I couldn't do it. Did you watch it all?
Yeah, unfortunately.
But like Poe from fucking Star Wars as Apocalypse.
I know.
That's not who you want as Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's just the scene where
Poe the pilot?
Yeah.
Is he?
What's his name? Isaac?
Oh shit.
Isaac's son.
I didn't realize.
The scene where Apocalypse and all the other mutants were like around him and he's giving them powers like that.
He did look like Ivan.
Yeah,
like I said.
That did not make sense.
And I didn't like his four horsemen were like Psylocke,
Angel,
and Storm.
Storm was one, yeah, and then I think he was trying to get Jean, but there was another one.
There has to be another one.
I don't know.
See, if you watch Deadpool 2, you know the best costume from comic to costume is Shatterstar, because he looks just like Shatterstar, hella dumb, in a white ass suit with like a little brown little thing with his like dumb ponytail.
It looks like the headgear you wear when you're doing wrestling.
But that's what Shatterstar looks like.
Yeah, I know.
That's what Shatterstar looks like. That was the kind of thing with New Mutants. It's funny because I'll leave that for a whole nother podcast, but because it's new and it had a bunch of drama getting it out. But they all didn't really, for me, look like their characters that much. Granted, they didn't get costumes really, but Magic looked badass. Like they did a really good job with Magic, but like I just felt like, I don't know, like it had the same problem as a lot of these X-Men's were. It feels like it's such a small X-Men world, almost like Deadpool, but at least Deadpool jokes about it. Like it's kind of weird that there's no other X-Men here or whatever, but like it's weird that these movies are like in an X-Men world, but all these other X-Men aren't showing up. Or it's like the animated cartoon when I would watch it, and I'm like, why does Colossus have to leave? Like he fought Juggernaut, and he's like, will you help us and join us? And he's like, no, Colossus will help you build mansion, and then I go back home. And it's like, cool. They find Nightcrawler in a church, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go back to a church and this and that. Like, can we join, make the team bigger?
No.
For the X-Men movies to work, you gotta have a good like villain team. We're so tired of the Brotherhood, and like, they tried to do it Hellfire Club. I think it still didn't work for me at all.
I think I tell everybody to make a really good superhero movie. Like, it's funny that I haven't said this yet, but and I've said it a million times. To have a good superhero movie, you have to have just as good of a villain.
Yeah,
and your villain almost has to hold up as much screen time and play off as well, and that's how you get. That's why I think honestly, Terrence Stamp or Zod holds up really well with Superman. Jack Nicholson holds up well with Batman. Heath Ledger, he does hold up with Christian Bale. So when you look at the best movies, I think it's those villains have to be captivating, that almost you like them too much, and that's because you're not supposed to like the villains, but when you do, it's magic. And I hate to say it, Ian McKellen fucking sucks as Magneto. I like him, but he's brittle as fuck. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, who'd you have before that?
As Magneto?
Oh, wait, never mind. Forget that thought.
Fassbender is young, but I kind of liked him as Magneto. I'd rather him as a hero role. If I got to make X-Men, I wouldn't have picked him as Magneto.
He has been going down the route more of villain, considering he was in Prometheus, or not, whatever that trilogy is.
I haven't seen that. Covenant?
Huh?
The Covenant?
The ones that are all...
I haven't seen Covenant.
Okay.
Is it good?
Really? I enjoy that stuff. I love sci-fi movies. Doesn't matter. I can watch A, B, C, D, off movies.
Have you seen Raised by Wolves yet? On HBO Max? Everybody's been telling me to watch that.
Didn't Declan say he just watched that and it like fucked up his mind?
Yeah, it did. He told me to watch it and he wants my opinion on it. I haven't seen it. I don't have HBO Max, so
To see
We have to
if I
get
can
HBO
it. It's-
Max.
because apparently everything's on
Yeah.
HBO Max.
it's
'cause we
made
need to
by
co-
Ridley Scott.
We need to cover.
We do need to cover Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, because like there's a big issue in it that Declan didn't even know about the big issue, and I explained to him, hey, this is the problem that people are all arguing about all over the internet. And he's like, oh shit, yeah, we need to talk about that. And I'm like, all right, well, me and Lucas need to watch it, or me and Lucas haven't watched it. I know Levi watched it, and Levi's like, it fucking sucks. Jim watched it, and he said it sucked. And Jim's a fucking big Wonder Woman fan. Jim's the guy that plays Clicks at the shop, or used to play Clicks. Just throw that out there. But yeah, I was trying to think what other villains that would maybe... Like, that's why Red Skull, like, for me, like, the first Captain America is really good, but there's just something missing for me. And now that I think about it, it's like Red Skull isn't that good in it.
No. And he also, his head seemed extremely out of place. Like, place in that whole world.
Captain America doesn't have compelling enough villains to really.
Do you know who sucks for that? Is Hulk. Hulk doesn't have good enough villains.
He never
Abomination's cool, and that's about far as it goes.
leader.
Wolverine.
So that's his buddy. That's why I think Spider-Man goes so far, X-Men goes so far. They have a ton of villains, and they're good villains. Mm-hmm. Like Spider-Man, like I love Willem Dafoe, but I just hated the outfit. If it was just Willem Dafoe, like Ultimate Spider-Man, where he transformed and his face looked different, dude, just paint him. He looks just like Green Goblin.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't go down that route at all.
But they made him, decent in that movie, but it just... The mask held him back. He didn't act really well with the mask on. I really hate the part where he leans on him while he's like knocked out and he like smacks him on the head and he turns. I feel like I was watching Disneyland where they do like an acting show of like Broadway Spider-Man. Like that's like, oh, and this silly boy. Like I just didn't like that.
Well, also, I mean, just that.
That's why I think Doc Ock one is better because people like the Doc Ock and the Spider-Man dynamic. Venom was god fucking awful.
That whole third movie was awful compared to the other ones. Like 2 is the best. I think is the best out of all of them.
First one was Second was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third is just garbage. Garbage. You had to throw Gwen Stacy in it just to give Spider-Man a conflict of I may not want to be with my wife or soon to be wife type of thing. Why in the last movie? You do that in the second movie or something.
Yeah.
And you don't make him emo.
I need a Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister's being built up so much, so long. There's been teased with X-23. I think I read.
Really?
With
You know who I would pick as Mr. Sinister, right?
Who?
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I can see it. I did just watch The Last Bill and Ted. It was awesome.
Was it?
It's good. It's fun.
that.
It's fun.
I've seen a few scenes of it.
It's fun. It's Bill.
Yeah,
and Ted.
it's a fun movie.
It's really fast. I feel like, and it feels like it was a really low cast. Like when the SWAT team has to come, it's one SWAT van with like 5 guys running out. Like in other movies, it's like 8 of them with So you could tell it's very like there's a prison scene. There's not that many guys there, so you could tell it was all like budgeted.
I need a Keanu Reeves Mr. Sinister in the next Deadpool movie.
I don't know, dude, because I feel like he'd have to be too goofy in that.
That's
It's
fine.
hard. He'd be like,
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to be goofy. He can be just a.
You can be Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. John Wick going after Ryan Reynolds.
why would he tangle with Deadpool though? Because Sinister works on mutants, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Like,
he's part of the Weapon X project.
no, he had Essex, right?
Yeah, he's Nathaniel Essex.
Yeah, see, New Mutants, she keeps talking about her boss she's working for, and at the end you see, or near the end, you see the screen say Essex on it. So we're like, oh, are they going to show some kind of, like, thing? And no. And Declan's like, even if they had, like, a silhouette of, like, him talking to her, you just see, like, red eyes or something, that'd be kind of cool, but... Nothing. That movie was a big swing and a miss, but the problem is why I kept going back to it with Declan was... It makes me mad because they had so many opportunities through the whole movie. And you got really cool characters. I like those young characters. And the fact that you fucked all this shit, like, it really bugs me. It's just, yeah, it's a mess. But, yeah. What time are we at?
Oh, no. What do you think is the worst comic book movie? All time.
Time.
Yeah. So I'm asking this question. Worst comic book movie of all time? Don't go super far back with like the first Captain America and first Fantastic Four. That
Well, and
garbage.
you can't really do like Batman and Robin.
And I'm talking like old.
You can't
ones.
even do Batman and Robin and stuff because it's like
The most recent Fantastic Four is pretty bad.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but it looked awful.
I
from the
couldn't
trailer.
finish it.
it just I
Really?
I
Could not
tried and I
finish it.
couldn't either.
Yeah, I could not.
It
finish
doesn't
that.
feel like Fantastic Four at all.
It
didn't
was
even
like
look
New
like
Mutants for how like this is a comic book movie, but it doesn't follow any of the
Because
book at all.
like you could go to Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. I wouldn't even touch because Riddler and Two-Face are so fucking cool in that. But Batman and Robin, it got to the point where it's okay that it was so goofy, so I couldn't even put it.
Everything. It was just supposed to be.
He
over the
busted
top.
out the Batman Express card.
Yeah.
like I can't.
They have nipples.
Yeah,
Like
Alicia Silverstone.
you also have a surprisingly good cast in that movie.
I don't like.
I
I don't
wouldn't
like
say
Crystal Dawn.
good.
Well,
I would say
they
surprising.
went off to do other things. I like Arnold. I like I forgot.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. I like
Alicia
her.
Silverstone, Chris
Yeah.
O'Donnell. George Clooney, I think, is my only favorite, really, out of all those guys.
God.
I love Ocean's movies.
Yeah,
dude.
Ocean's movies.
Um,
He doesn't really make bad movies, does he? He makes slow movies, I guess.
what superhero movie? So I'm trying, like I said, not go for a straight cheesy one.
Green Lantern.
Oh, do you know what's really, really bad?
that one's-
Is Catwoman with Holly Berry.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, me and my cousin watched it just because it was on, and we already hit like 8 cat puns within like
Elektra.
Elektra's really bad too. Why are we picking on the girls, man?
We expect more.
They're bad movies.
Elektra's like, I'm like, where is this coming from?
It's over the top.
Like Daredevil's
She was
Daredevil's
dead.
not even that bad. It's like not the greatest superhero
No.
movie. But going from
Well,
dude, I love Mark Clark Duncan as Kingpin.
Yes.
I love Bullseye. He was so crazy. Ben
Colin
Affleck
Farrell.
was, yeah.
Colin Farrell's
Ben Affleck was
Bullseye,
as Daredevil.
Yeah.
I think what kind of killed it was what they did with Elektra, making her so fucking over the top in that movie.
Yeah.
They carried that over to the other movie, and it was. I don't
then,
remember
like,
much of it. I just know it was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad, and they had like a group of villains, and she beats them all like in the field for like one mission, and I'm like, there's no more hype, no more bad guys really. But yeah, Elektra's really bad. Catwoman, like I said, within the first like hour or so, there was like 9 or 10 cat puns.
Yeah.
Like, well, lay your cat out to dry, or I don't know. It was just fucking bad. And then the CGI, oh my god, that wasn't a time where they had it, and she's just like flipping around, and it's totally not her. I'm like, oh my god. So I think Catwoman may take the cake for me. I can't.
I don't know. What's Green Lantern is get up there.
Well, Green Lantern had cool aspects of like the core at least, and the guy that
But it was just mainly just probably due to the CGI suit.
the guy that played Sinestro is pretty good. The story's pretty shit, but the guy that played Sinestro. Oh, dude, no, I didn't mention Shazam's fucking amazing.
Oh,
I love
watched
Shazam.
that
I
have
when
seen
you were
it, yeah.
talking to
I've
me
seen
about
it.
that.
Shazam's fucking amazing. But yeah, I think Catwoman is probably one of the worst ones I've seen.
I agree with you. Catwoman.
Yeah.
X-Men's like they're all pretty tolerable, but I agree that I
did not like First Class.
First Class felt like, why don't we just make the original X-Men team?
Yeah.
Why do we have to shove Havoc and Banshee? I love Banshee. I love to see him someday. Not right now. Like let's just do Marvel Girl Beast. I hated Beast. I could not stand Beast. Hated his look. I hated his vibe. I hated that he did the fucking thing and turned them blue, and I just but it's still not like a horrible movie. But yeah, I think
That has to be a worse one.
I mean Barbed Wire.
Blade 3.
Barbed Wire was a
Barbed Wire?
Pamela Anderson. She was a superhero. It was a comic first. She shows her tits in it for 1 second, so I had to watch it as a kid.
Well, yeah, naturally.
She has like a towel on, and then she like walks by and does that to a guy, and I was like, oh, I gotta
bring up
watch
the
this.
third Blade again because it was just.
Third Blade. I think it sucked because Dracula was so fucking bad.
Yeah. Horrible villain.
Well,
He was villain.
On top of it, Wesley Snipes wasn't there for a lot of the filming,
And it was over the top of Ryan Reynolds.
and
Hey, fuck you.
he was basically trying out for Deadpool. I think.
Yeah, well, every time I see him in Wolverine Origins, I think of him in Blade 3.
Yeah, because he's basically playing the same
Playing
guy.
the same character.
Yeah.
But no, maybe it would still have to be Catwoman.
No, because Blade 3, like, I think Ryan Reynolds is cool in it. Abigail Whisker, she's okay in it. The story's not bad, but the fact that it's Dracula and it's the end game for Blade, it just was lackluster.
And I don't even think he died. He was still alive after all the vampires were supposed to die.
I don't like the guy that plays him.
No.
He was from Prison Break. I didn't like him. And then, like I said, Wesley Snipes was barely on set, they said.
Because I think that was during the time he was having issues.
Well, he was fighting with the director, Dave Snyder or whatever. He wrote the Batman trilogy, but he directed this one. And he was having issues with him, and he wouldn't even show up. So they had to do a lot of stand-ins. Patton Oswalt has gone on record, talked about all this. Because, like, on Patton Oswalt's scene when he's talking to him, he said it's a different black dude standing there while he's talking to him. It's not Wesley Snipes, because he wouldn't show up to the set or whatever. But yeah, and it sucked because they were building like their own like Night Stalker team.
Yeah.
And there's a deleted scene where like a werewolf comes out, and I was like sick because like we could do Werewolf by Night, we could get into Swamp Thing, all kinds of the Swamp Thing Man thing, and they never did it. Well, the first one had deleted scene with Morbius where like he looks out and you see a guy with like a drape, almost like what we have to wear now for our mask. But he had kind of like a scarf covering him, and he had blue hair in the sky or whatever. And he looks up, and he's like, what the hell? And like runs after him, and that's how it cuts. So people thought, oh, he's going to be with Morbius. It's the deleted scene, and he never worked with Morbius. But we're getting a Morbius movie for no reason. You ever seen it?
No.
That's sad.
You haven't watched Blade 3?
What?
He just woke up out of it.
Where you been, John?
He's woke up out of his weed coma. No,
Seen what?
the Morbius.
Deleted scene?
No.
The preview?
Yeah.
I think I might have.
I don't know. Maybe I should to end the video.
I've known you since you were a child. You were given.
A kid that's bullied.
You always have.
Well, some kind of blood disorder. That's what happened in the comics.
You'll find it.
Association with Marvel. They can't just say Marvel.
You died years ago.
No, because Marvel doesn't want their name on it.
This is all Sony, dude. Sony owns the Spider-Man villains, kind of. They share it.
I have a rare blood disease, and I'm running out of time. This could be my last chance.
You're up to something. What is it?
It's not exactly legal.
I don't want to see you get hurt more than you already have.
This would be a cure.
At what cost? What's happening?
I went from dying to feeling more alive than ever. Increased strength and speed. The ability to use echolocation. An overpowering urge to consume blood. How far are we allowed to go? To fix something that's broken. Until the remedy is worse than the disease.
I just feel like his name should be Batman because he has all these bat
That
powers.
wasn't bad. That actually doesn't look too
Oh
bad.
my god!
No. Okay, I don't know.
Oh, what?
Vulture. So people think they're going to connect all the villains together.
That didn't
That
look
looks
bad.
entertaining.
Yeah.
I like the CG effects on that. They don't look. There's a few things that I'm not.
It looks a little updated from what the real Morbius story is. But
Well, I feel like Morbius don't need a movie, but all right, whatever. I thought I was gonna end this with a.
Well, do I think he needs a movie? No.
Right.
If it gets us closer to Midnight Suns, I'm all for it.
But you have to remember, this is Fox not working with Marvel. Actually,
Association.
They're
Bumping ugly.
sharing. Fox is looking over it. Marvel's getting a little bit of the profit, probably. They trade off and stuff.
Yeah, sell the
so if
toys
you
for all.
notice,
Yeah, we can't get Strange in there.
in the background, there is a poster when he's walking in his jumpsuit of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. I don't know why. There's a poster of it, but it shows it on there. And then it is weird that Vulture is on the end of the trailer.
Multiverse, man.
But I don't think they were setting that up at this time.
No, probably not.
But anyways, I thought I was going to make you guys laugh with that before we ended, but I guess not.
No.
They both are looking forward to Morbius. Batman. I still
No, I didn't say looking forward. We didn't say looking forward.
No, it's okay.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it, but
But to me, I just felt like it bugged me because it just didn't remind me of Morbius in the comics. It reminded me of a guy that got bit by a radioactive bat, and he has bat powers now.
Yeah, he's this Batman version of Spider-Man.
That's what it was. He's like
I was about to say he's Batman, but he can't be
not-
Batman
he's not-
without being Batman.
He
He's
can't be Batman. This guy's like dying
Man
from
Bat?
something. Yeah.
He's Man Bat.
Yeah.
But he can't even be Man Bat because that's a character too, right?
Yeah, but he's just this guy that's got a bat. He's a fruit bat. He's got bat.
fruit bat man?
He's got, but all his powers are
Fruit
like
Batman.
all his powers are like bat powers, which I get because Morbius.
Yeah.
But Morbius was basically a vampire. Back then,
It looked like he was a vampire.
here's a quick thing for you. Back in the day, because the comic book code existed, you couldn't say zombie shit like that. So that's why back then they had to call him Morbius the Living Vampire. Because if it was anything with necrophilia, they couldn't do it. So Morbius the Living Vampire, he was a vampire. This looks like he is the Batman. He has bat powers. I have sonar power. I have this power. Vampires don't have these powers.
No.
Him poofing and shit, like, okay, I get it a little bit.
That was cool. But what I did find odd was, the red, then blue. I don't know, that's like, because when he caught like the ball, it was red. Like the
That's what bugs you out of everything?
Yeah, because why the different colors? All right, don't matter.
It's fine.
Don't matter.
It's fine. It's fine. That was our discussion on just some superhero movies, and we'll be back another time with more stuff.
Next week.
It's always next week, and then always video games and all kinds of stuff in between. And your challenge that we'll be doing eventually.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And we'll have to figure out other challenges. I'm trying to figure out hot challenges for people, but I can't participate because I'll be a bitch.
Oh, what?
Hot
food?
Hot food?
That's easy.
See, because
Let's get the Asian in here.
No, that's not fair for you guys.
Because, dude, hey, Levi's he's the one that made me think of it because he puts, what's it, ghost pepper flakes on his stuff all the time. And I'm like, that's retarded. He's like, oh, it numbs your mouth a little bit. I'm like, yeah.
And it burns coming out.
Yeah.
I can handle it. That's nothing.
Yeah, we can do
See,
that.
we'll see who can one up each other.
Extracts. Ghost pepper extracts on a chicken wing.
Why is that sounds dangerous.
I know, right?
Signing out. See you guys next time. Lucas can stop it. And I gotta find my
Happy New
glasses.
Year.
Happy New Year.